Welcome to the online class, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss how to declare function overloading concept in a program, and afterwards today we are going to write one program using the concept called function overloading. Now I am going to write one program segment, that is a part of a program that is going to represent how to declare function overloading, right? Void display function, void display of int, void display of float, void display of char, right? These four indicates function prototype implement the function overloading concept in a program means we have to use three things, that is the function prototype, calling function, called function, what we are discussed in the first year, right? So just now first I am going to write one program segment, that is a part of the program that represents how to implement function overloading concept. Now just I am going to recall once again this first year concept. What does it mean by function prototype? Function prototype represents name of the function, type of the arguments which are going to be used in our program with their data type. Also it represents function access, function return type specifier. Here for all the functions we are using the same return type specifier, that is void. And next, now I am going to write four called functions. They represents function overloading concept. See, here I am going to write a program segment that prints different data type values. That is, with the help of this first function, it doesn't contain any argument. It is an empty argument list, and the second one contains one argument, that is the int type argument. Third function contains one float type argument. Similarly, fourth function contains character type argument. Means These four functions are going to print different data type values. Okay, for this purpose, to print a different data type purpose, I am going to write here function code using function overloading concept. Means using function overloading concept means all the four functions have the same name, like display with a different signature. Means what the parameter list must contain must be different type. See here, first one no argument, without argument, second one int, third one float, fourth one char. Means all the functions have different signature, right? Next, void display of int a, sorry, first one is empty parameter, right? Write the code, cout program to demonstrate function overloading. Void display int is there, therefore int a, cout integer type value is equal to a. Next, void display of float b, cout float type value is equal to b. Close it. Void display char cout character type value is equal to c. See here, see here, this program segment means this part of the program is an example for declaration of function overloading. So first we have to declare number of functions with the same name with a different argument list. That is, first one doesn't contain any argument, second one int, third one float, fourth one char. Means first we have to take function prototype with the same name. Next we have to declare the same function names display with a different parameters. For example, first function is display with no argument, So here one cout statement is there. So this program segment explains concept of function overloading. That's why I write one C++ sentence, program to demonstrate function overloading. Next, int is there, one argument is there. So display int a, you take any valid variable name for the argument. I am taking here a. Integer type value is equal to a, means this is the program segment. So in the program we have to assign some value to a, that value is coming here and it is printing here. For example, suppose we assigned a value for a is 10, value for b is 10.5, value for c is means character, c contains some character letter like m, means the final result is 4 sentences are printing. First sentence is printing like this, program to demonstrate function overloading. Second cout statement, integer value type value is equal to a. A means it contains integer value, for example 10. Second one, third statement, float type value is equal to b. B contains 10.5, means it is printing float value. Similarly, character type value c, means what c contains, that character is printing here. So in this way, in the C++, we have an option, use number of functions with the same name with a different signature. That is, in C++ we have a concept called function overloading. With the help of this function overloading concept, in C++ we can use number of functions with the same name. So this is what declaration of function overloading. This is a program segment, means it is not a program, it is a part of the program that is going to indicate function overloading concept, right? Now we are going to write one C++ program that represents a C++ program using the concept called function overloading. For example, let us consider write a C++ program to illustrate how to use function overloading for displaying different parameters, namely integer, float and char types. Means what we considered now part of the program segment, now we are going to use same concept to implement function overloading. That is, that is, our aim is to see here. Now I am going to write a C++ program using the concept called function overloading to print different data type values. Different data types means integer, float, char, right? Means I am going to write one integer value, I am going to write one float value, I am going to write one character type value, that is one character, using the concept called function overloading. Means how the output will be like this. Program to demonstrate function overloading. And right. See here. Now I am going to write a C++ program to get the output like this. First line, program to demonstrate function overloading. Second sentence, integer type value is equal to 100, float type value is equal to 100.50, character type value is equal to m. Now I have to print like this, but you not only using the C++ concepts or just a C++ program, I have to use function overloading concept to print or get the output like this. So what we have to do? First we have to declare header files. Afterwards we have to declare a function prototype with the same name, and next in the main function we have to declare 3 variables. One is int, second one is float, third one is char with assigned values. And afterwards in the main function, what we have to do? In the main function, just we declare calling functions and close the main function, and in the called function use the cout statements like this. See here, just go through this sentence to understand concept. First one, header file. conio.h, right? This header file you know already, to link C in cout statements. conio.h is for get function purpose as well as clear screen purpose. And next, void display, because we have to display different data types. Take function name display, void display of int, void display of float, void display of char, right? These 4 represents what? Function prototype, right? These 4 represents what? Function prototype, means they tell the name of the function, a type of arguments used in the function, and also it represents return type specifier of the function, means data type of the function. But here all the functions name are same, that is for all the 4 functions I am using the function name display, 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 because I am implementing a concept called function overloading. Function overloading means declaring number of functions, more functions with the same name with a different signature. Different signature means all those functions parameter list must be different. They not see here for the first display function there is no parameter. For the second display function, one parameter is there, int, second, third function float, fourth function char, means all the parameters are different, means each function contain parameters are not same. That's why this is called function, this is called different function signature. Whenever different function signature is there, then only function overloading is possible, right? Now I am going to, after a function prototype, what is the next type? Next type is write the main function. Void main. In the main function, variable declaration, what variables we have to take? Our aim is to print one int value, one float value, one char value. Therefore, take 3 variables. Int a is equal to, what is the value? 100 we have to print. 100 float. What is the float value? B is equal to 100.50. And next we have to print on char. Therefore, take one character variable. Char c is equal to what value is printing? M. Therefore, assign with M. After variable declaration, CLR SCR, clear screen function. Right? Next, just call the functions. All the 4 functions. That is, all the 4 functions means display without any parameter, display of int, display of a float, display of char, display of what? Char. Means these 4 functions represents what? Calling function. These 4 functions represents what? Calling function. Means this function is what? Calling function without any argument. This is calling function with int argument, calling function with float argument, calling function with char. Right? So here, when the cursor comes here, this is calling function means next cursor moved to called function. Where cursor goes? Cursor moved to called functions. Right? So now close this main function with get. Close the main function. Now the next thing is we have to write called functions for each function. Next means called function means function with code we have to write. So therefore, take down. First one is void display function. Because first function is not contain any argument, so therefore don't take here any argument. Cout. So what sentence must be print? This one, right? Program to demonstrate function overloading. So right here, program to demonstrate function overloading. Close it. Next, void display function. So it contain one argument, that is int. Therefore, int take down what is int? A is there. Take down A. Next, cout. Second value is integer value is equal to 100, right? Integer value is equal to, so you print A. Next, close it. Void display, because third is float value B. Cout float value is equal to B. Close it. Last one, void display of char character variable is C out, character type value is equal to what? C, close it, right? So like this we have to write code. So first we have to declare what? Function prototype, next calling function, next called function, first year concept, right? But the thing different is what? All the functions must have same name. Function prototype contains 4 functions, means all the 4 functions must have same name. See, just I written program, now I am going to explain it. See here, as usually program execution starts from a main function. This main function contains first variable declaration, means int variable is assigned with value 100, float variable b is assigned with value 100.50, char type variable c is assigned with a variable called m. Next, clear screen, display function with no arguments, display function with integer argument, display function with float argument, display function with char argument. Next, get close. Main program is closed here. So these 4 functions represents what? Calling functions. Means we are using here function overloading concept. Here also function prototype, calling function, called function concepts comes, right? So here this first function represents what? Calling function without any argument. This second function represents calling function with one integer argument. Third function represents calling function with float argument. Fourth one represents calling function with char type argument. So last year we discussed what is the mean by calling function, what is the mean by called function, what is the mean by actual argument, what is the mean by formal arguments, what is the mean by function or function prototype, right? Just to recall it, function prototype means this is the section where we are going to declare functions which are going to be used in our program, right? This means which functions we are going to use in our program, that thing are going to be declared before the main function are called function prototype. Or else we can say function prototype means this represents name of the function, return type specifier of the function, arguments list of the function, right? And next, calling function. Calling function means whenever cursor comes to the calling function, then cursor transfer to called function. So otherwise we can say calling function means it is a function present in the main function. Whenever cursor comes near the calling function, cursor transfer to the called function. What is the called function? Called function is a one which has a code to it, right? Which has a code to it. Means calling function is not going to contain code. Function which contains code is called called function, right? So like this, these are what? Calling function, because here just function is declared, code is not there, function is ended with semicolon, right? So that's why these are called calling function. Next, function which are written outside the outside of the main function are called called function. So these are all what? Called function. These are all what? Called function. Called function. Called function means called functions are not going to end with the semicolon because they have code. We are going to write code for those functions. That's why they are called function. Now let us see here, when a cursor comes, this display function, this first calling function, then cursor transfer to called function means compiler here number of functions are there with same name. How the compiler work means compiler is going to, whenever cursor comes here, display means where it goes exactly how the call is going to this particular function means it compares its actual arguments with the formal arguments. Actual arguments means arguments which are present in the calling function are called actual arguments. Arguments which are present in the called function are called formal arguments. So compiler is going to compare its actual arguments with the formal arguments. Its actual arguments means it doesn't contain any argument. So it search where argument is not there, here. It checks. So compiler checks, here it matches, right? It doesn't contain any argument, it is also doesn't contain any argument. So cursor comes here and whatever the thing present in this function, that is printing, means this sentence is printing. Program to demonstrate a function overloading. Next cursor come to once again main function. So here function with one argument int. So it checks in the outside the main function where function named display is there with the data type int. Here display is there, data type int, no. Display is there, name of the function, yes. Data type int, yes. It matches. So it executes this function only. Because when cursor comes here data type is int, here float, it is not matching. Here data type is int, here data type is char, this is also not matching. Only this function matches. So compiler compiles formal or actual arguments with formal arguments. When these two matches, that function is executed. So second one, integer value is equal to a. So this a means int of a. What is the a value? 100. So this 100 is passing from here. So this float value is passing from here. So this character m is passing from here. So like this, int a means here 100 is coming. So similarly float b means here 100 and 100.50 is coming. Here char c means c value m is coming here. So like this, what is happening? These 4 sentences are printing. Means first sentence, program to demonstrate function overloading. Second one, integer type value is equal to 100. Float type value is equal to 100.50. Character type value is equal to m. Like this, we can implement function overloading concept in C++, right? So this is a first program with the concept called function overloading. In the next class, I am going to explain one more C++ program with function overloading concept. That program is there for your second year practical examination. Okay, thank you.